want to progress. We want to mature. You know, I tell people there's nothing wrong with being spiritually in kindergarten. Nothing wrong with it. You know, I mean, I don't know how long you guys have been saved, but if you get saved, if you've been saved for just a couple months or several years, there's nothing wrong with being spiritually in kindergarten, but you can't stay there for years. You know what I mean? You got to go to first grade sometime. You know what I mean? And then you need to go to second grade, and you need to mature as a Christian. All of us. Pastor, he needs to mature. I mean, you don't seem like I seem. He does need to mature. But we all do. We never meet. We're never going to get to where we need to go, because if we did, we would be so prideful. You know, we would be hypocritical, and we would be pharisaical. So we all want to grow and mature as Christians, right? And isn't that the wonderful thing about it? You know, it says when we've been there 10,000 years, we're gonna still be growing. We're still going to be maturing. We're still going to be striving to be Christ-like for eternity. So if we're going to do that for eternity, wow, you think we kind of need a jump start? You know what I mean? We kind of need to get started on the process and be tired of where we're at if we're stale. You ever feel stale? I do. I mean, there's times I feel stale and stagnant and I'm not going anywhere with this and I'm not seeing things happening the way I want it to, and God's just not doing what I want him to do. You ever feel that way? Okay, good, because I thought I was the only one that felt that way. Okay. But I think he's doing what he feels is the best. So it's just the best to get on the same page with him. Okay? And the way we do that is we learn about the Word, and we want to grow, and we need to grow in all ways, intellectually, okay? Because in Romans, I think it's Romans 8, it says, be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So, what does that mean? Be not conformed to this world. It means don't do the same thing that the world's doing. Right? But be transformed. Wow, transformed. Anybody, I don't know, you guys watch movies. Transformers, you know what Transformer is? It was like these big machines. It was like semis, and then they would turn into robots. They would transform into something else. It's like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. So to be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Well, how do you renew your mind? Okay? The truth. You know, the truth will set you free. So it's a balance. Okay? When we pray, do you believe that God's going to answer? Do you believe God's going to answer you when you pray? Okay? How many people think it's going to be the way that you want it to be? How many people hope it's going to be the way you want it to be?
Well, yeah.
We all think we got God figured out. Here's what you need to do, God. You need to do this and that. Let me write this down for you just so you don't forget it. All right? Because I know that God writes stuff down, so I'm going to write it down. No, and you just got to be comfortable with that God knows best, and that we are little and He's big, right? And and His time schedule is different than ours. You know what I mean? Like a lot of times I'll say, "Hey God, you know what? I'm on a time schedule here. I'm only going to be here. You're eternal, and I'm going to be come and go, and you're still going to be here. So you need to act now. You know, you need to." Okay. And you know what? I don't think anything's wrong with saying that. And the reason why is because God respects your honesty. Okay? He might not do what you want, but there's nothing wrong with being honest with God. Okay? It's just a way that we communicate with Him. And I said all that to say, and I don't know, I didn't have anything. I mean, really, this is just like a spot on, can you come up and speak? after I just got out of bed 5 minutes before I came over here. So I was really prepared. Okay? I was really prepared, and I switch back in there. And by the way, these notes were in the book of John, and I just, so anyhow, what I'm saying is God is a communicator. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and He was in the beginning with God. So God's a communicator. That means that He doesn't have long periods of time where He's not speaking, because He can't help it. Okay? What else is God? God is love, right? And it was the love of God, because He is love, that love is reciprocal. Okay? You can't have love one way. You know what I mean? Love can't be one-sided. It can't be. It's not love. Okay? It's not love unless it has a reciprocal, something that is equal to itself. There can't be one-sided love. It's not possible. So God is love. So it was the love of God, or the nature of God, which is love, to cause Him to create mankind. Because then He could create something that was equal to Him to make love. So it was love, and that's why He died for us. Okay? And so what I'm saying is learn to communicate with God on different levels. Okay? And one more thing before I go. I do artwork. I told you I was an artist, and my pastor came up to me, and we talked about this for a long time, and he wanted me to do some prophetic art. And I was like, what? Prophetic art? Yeah, what I'll do is I'll go up preaching, and you do whatever artwork. And I was like, look, I don't pull my own chain. I don't really want to get up in front of people. I don't. Right? I don't. When I do artwork, I don't say how great it is and tell you all. I just say, here it is. Look at it. It'll speak for itself. Okay. So Mark asked me to do this, and I trusted him. You know what I mean? And I did it. And I was a little bit nervous. And after the first time, and so we was going to do it again. And I thought, I'm not going to do this just for you to get up there and show people what I can do. I'm just not interested. And so I prayed, and I said, God, what are you doing? What is prophetic art? Okay? And He answered me, and it was really neat, because He said, this is what He said. I mean, I've heard it, not like you're hearing me, but inside, like an inner voice. And He said, how people perceive me in a church setting, or for the most part in the world, okay, is through speaking and hearing. Okay? Like right now, you're speaking. I'm speaking, you're hearing, right? So, we're communicating, or I'm communicating with you, but you're communicating with me, because part of communication is listening, right? I'm sure all your husbands and wives communicate. I mean, you don't not listen to what they're saying, right? You always listen to what Mom says, right? No. Okay? And you always listen to what he said. Well, except for last night. Last night there was a little bit of communication problem. What I'm saying is communication is speaking and listening. Okay? So God says, I'm way bigger than that. Okay? God's way bigger than that. So I painted this picture, right? And God said, have you ever heard of the picture paints 1,000 words? You're right. So when I was up here and had this picture that I was painting, it was speaking thousands of words that I didn't have to speak. All right? I'm thinking, wow, you know what? And so in the process of it, I'm blown away, because God's communicating with all these people on another level because of what I did. And I thought, that is so cool. And it wasn't necessarily the picture. All right? It wasn't just a picture. It was the process. Because people seen me doing it, and they come up to me and they go, when you was doing that, And God spoke to me about this, about that. So it was the whole process. It wasn't the final picture like you would look on the wall like this picture right here. It wasn't this, it was the process. So it's like, wow, this is another level. This is another dimension that God was wanting to speak to us in these pictures. A picture paints 1,000 words. So I'm thinking, wow, that's just a little thing, you know what I mean? And so I went to school for this, and our church offers a school. It's called the Fire School of Prophetic Training. And in the school, it's in dreams and visions, and it's through communication, and it's through perception, which is a feeling. And it's really neat. My daughter went through it. She was 8 years old then. She was the youngest student that had ever went through it, my wife. So I went through it for 1 year, and then my wife and my daughter went. Well, we didn't have a babysitter at that time, so we just took her with us. And then it turned out, just turned out great. And they had us do all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, we would pray. I mean, can you imagine how crazy that is? I mean, if people in the world seen us praying, they thought we was crazy. But anyway, we had prayed. And she said, our teacher, which is pastor's wife, she said, I want you to go home this week and pray, and God's going to give you, they called it a treasure hunt. Anybody ever heard of the treasure hunt? Okay, so what it is you just pray, and God will give you a list of different, just like blue car, or an address, or a person, or whatever. Anyway, then you take this group of people, take this out, and then you kind of piece it together, and you'll find people that need God. God took this treasure hunt, so we come up to people and we go, and you try to explain to them, hey, we're on this treasure hunt, and so the end, when we would get connected with people, this treasure hunt led us to people, and when we get to these people, they were in desperate need of God. So the next week when we did this, now this is funny. There was like 30 people in this class. All right, 30 people in this class, and so we all went into groups. All right, and we live in Chillicothe, 26,000 people. Right, and so we all went out and was trying to do this treasure hunt. And like 4 of the groups ended up at J.C. Penney's. It's like, wasn't that, out of all the places, we all ended up in the same store, you know what I mean? So we knew that we were all connected somehow. And so that week my daughter missed. All right, she didn't go that week. And so then the next week we went to class, and she said, okay, we're going to do the same thing we did last week, but you don't have a week to pray about it. You got 5 minutes. So the first time we had a week to prepare, to hear from God, to write down these things, to piece it together, all right, and to find out what God was saying. It was hidden. It was the desire of God to hide a. It's the desire of God in Proverbs. It's the desire of God to hide a thing, but it is the. I can't think how it's worded, but it is of a king to search out a matter. Okay. So anyway, that next week, we prayed and had 5 minutes to pray about it. We prayed about it. And my daughter, so I said, well, Faith, where do you want to go? She said, J.C. Penney. She didn't know anything about last week. And about all the places, she said. Anyway, so we said, okay, you're on a roll, Faith. What else? So she said, 3 girls, 1 16, 1 was 18, had what color dress on, whatever. So we go to J.C. Penney's. And so we're looking around for these girls, 3 girls, all right, that are this age and all the stuff that she had told us that we'd written down. My wife and her went to the restroom. So I'm just standing there waiting on them to get back from the restroom. And I look up and I'm going, 1,